Welcome, good afternoon everyone. We are going to have the last workshop of the day on the Team France Export booth. I'm Sophie Misson and I'm the host for this session on the French CleanTech startups that we organize in partnership with the French Ministry of Environment, Business France and ADEME. We are today going to explore how French CleanTech startups can boost their development internationally with the help of the public support, the French government support. So I'm pleased to welcome now two great innovators from France. First we have Clément Tiret, who is Chief Financial Officer of Innovafeed. Please, Clément, can you introduce yourself and your company?
Yes, thanks for the invitation. So my name is Clément Tiret, I'm Innovafeed CFO. Innovafeed is an agtech company that rears insects, a particular kind of insect which is called black soldier fly. So why did we choose to rear insects? Because as you know today, agriculture is responsible for more than 25% of global CO2 emissions, and we are reaching the limits of our planet. So we need to find alternative ways of feeding the world. And there's one solution that has been overlooked for too many years, which is insect. So insect is a very nutritious way of feeding animals and tomorrow humans, and it emits very little CO2 and consumes very little resources. So we were created in 2016 with the ambition to bring insect rearing to large scale, and today we have 2 plants in operation, 1 pilot plant and 1 large-scale plant. And our next challenge will be to replicate that model abroad, and that's one of the topics of today. How do we internationalize our production?
Exactly. Thank you for being here with us. The second guest that we have today is Clément Johan Perron, sorry.
Johan Perron, oui.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Johan, you are sales manager at UrbanCanopee.
Correctly.
Can you please introduce yourself as well?
Yes, actually sales director. I'm working for UrbanCanopee for 3 months now, quite new. So UrbanCanopee offer innovative solution to fight against the effect of global warming, climate change, by deploying plant canopies over the cities. Our plant canopies help to combat the heat accumulates in cities, also restore the biodiversity and make our spaces more green. So we have developed self-standing, autonomous and connected green structures where we can plug in to buildings, facades, buildings, rooftop and places.
Okay, thank you for this introduction. We are going to discuss with these two startups and these innovators for the good, the tech for good, with Antoine Boudin, who is with me, to discuss with these two startups about these international expansion opportunities. Antoine Boudin from the French Ministry, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure, really correctly. I would like to thank Business France to give us the opportunity to show to GreenTech innovation startups and to make this intervention at the Viva Technology. I work for Ministry for the Ecological Transition, and I work for an innovation service, and that's why I'm here today.
Thank you, Antoine. So we're going to share the stage today. The first question I'm going to ask to our guest is about their international expansion. How is international expansion key for your development, for the development of your business abroad, and where in the world do you find the best opportunities, the best potential for your solutions? Clément.
Yeah, so if I can answer first, internationalization is key for a business like Innovafeed, because when you rear insects, and it's the same actually for farming, any kind of farming, so if you farm fishes, if you farm cows, it's the same. Your main source of cost is the feedstock, so the thing you give to eat to the animal you rear. And in the insect space, it's crucial to be close to the feedstock, to have large volumes of affordable and stable feedstock that your insects can recycle. Insect industry is a circular industry, and the whole purpose of it is to valorize agricultural byproducts that today are not valorized in other ways, to give them to eat to our insects, and then our insects are very nutritious, so it's kind of an upcycling process. And we've mapped the world to find the best sources of feedstock. We're quite lucky in France or in the north of Europe because we have a lot of actually large disposals of agricultural byproducts, and that's why we've opened our first facility in the north of France, where you have a big agricultural industry, and so we can recuperate some byproducts to give it as a feedstock to our insects. But there are other agricultural areas in the world that are very important and where you have massive disposals to upcycle. And one of them is North America, where you have a huge agricultural industry with corn, with wheat. And so the next facility we want to open is in the Midwest, so in the US, next to the largest starch plant in the world, a plant operated by ADM, which is a big agro player. And then a third geography that we want to address is Southeast Asia, where you have a lot of palm industry that produces a lot of byproducts that today are not reutilized. And so we would like to plug our process to that industry more in the midterm. So our three geographies are focused are first Europe, starting with France, but not only France, it can be Benelux, it can be the UK, then the US, and it's going to be as soon as our next project, and then in the medium term, Southeast Asia, to ensure that we have the most cost competitive model, but also the model that is the most environmentally friendly, because if you want the model to be environmentally friendly, you have to upcycle the byproducts where they are. There's no point importing them to where your facilities are.
Interesting. So that's quite global already, and you're really looking forward this sustainable point of view. Do you want to react or add anything?
Yeah, maybe I'll just ask myself, why did you choose USA and not another continent or another country to begin?
Yeah. So as I said, it largely depends on the availability of disposals of agricultural byproducts, and the US is the first agricultural power in the world. They have a huge agro-industry, especially in the corn or ethanol sectors, that produces byproducts that today are not used. So it's one of the places in the world where you have the best availability of those products and also the best cost for those products. So that makes that geography very competitive. And apart from this, being in the US, we think as a French startup is also a huge recognition. So that's a challenge that we want to put ourselves. Being a French leader in the US, today we don't have any big contender in the US, and we want to shape that industry also in the US, being a French startup, to make our country shine.
Thank you, Clément, for sharing your strategy abroad. We're going to ask our second guest now the same question. How is international expansion key for your business development abroad and in general, and
Sure.
where in the world do you see potential?
So we want to go global. The global warming is an issue for all the planet, and we already have a partner in Australia as a license agreement. We have some agent in Middle East, and with the VIE program, we are sending one of our staff in Atlanta to study the market, but also to study also the regulation and find potential business partners, distributors to deploy our plant canopy over there. Also, we are sending a VIE in Amsterdam during the big fair. I forgot the name. The Floriade. 6 months about the plant, and so here also we want to study the market and find potential business partners for the North Europe EU. And what else I would say about the internationalization? We are trying to find business partners, and we are participating in many exhibitions, such as the Big Five in Dubai. We are going in September. Also, we are going to the CES Las Vegas next year. Doing Paysalia in France is not really international, but many European companies come. So going on many exhibitions, help to find contact and go global. Go global, but also in the mid-term, produce local. So we will really take care of the carbon carbon footprint, and but all of this is ongoing.
Yeah, maybe if I had one thing, you said that global warming it's so international, and you say that you want to produce, you want to make your production in a local way.
Yes.
But how you can mix both, and you can. It means that if you want to sell your product in Australia, you produce in this country, or how you can.
At the moment, we produce one part in France, and I would say in mid-term is 80% of the products will be manufactured in the country where we go deployed our plant canopy. Because most of our, I would say, client is cities. So how can you fight against the global warming by producing, exporting from France? So better to produce local and go global.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now that we know more about your vision, your strategy to go international, we would like to know how did it help you to have like French support from the French government and the public institution to boost your development, your expansion internationally? Did it help you in any way, and how did it help you? Could you just, Clément, maybe you can start first?
Yeah. So I think before going global, you first have to prove your model locally in your home geography. And that's what we've done for the past 5 years now. So we had to demonstrate what we were capable of in France. And we're in an industry where it's not so easy to attract funding because we're an industrial startup, we're not a software startup. And it's an area where financing is more difficult to attract because you have to fund some capex with some technological risk. And so faced with that situation, we've been very lucky and we found really good investors, but clearly it helped to have some public support to kickstart our projects. And that was the case at all stages of our history. At the very beginning, when we were just doing some experiments, I think the support was the most crucial when we started developing our pilot site. We got support from different levels. We got support from the region, from the city in which we decided to implant our pilot plant. We got support from the ADEME, so the French environmental agency. We get support from the state itself and also from the European Commission. So I think it's very important to be. Sometimes it's difficult to find your way in the in the maze of subsidies, but if you look for it, you'll find it, and there's a lot of public action ready to help startups like us to de-risk their projects. And it's been the case as well when we decided to build our first at-scale plant in the north of France. We are very lucky to have attracted some public financing through the Plan de Relance, so the post-COVID plan, which funds part of our capex in the plant. And so thanks to all this, now we are demonstrating our model in France, and we feel ready to export it abroad. When it comes to public support for internationalization, I think that what you should look for is mostly network, and that can, I mean, the public, the representations of France abroad, for instance, at the embassy, for instance, through Business France, can put you in touch with interesting people. So that's the whole purpose of it. So don't hesitate to reach out to them to find the good points of contact that will make your life easier.
Thank you, Clément. Thank you. It's a good presentation of. That's true that there is a very wide, broad range of subsidies and support that are available. Johan, can you tell us more about how the public support helped your company and boost its development abroad?
Sure. So last December we got our second institutional fundraising. We got 1.7 million fundraising. Behind our two main investors are La Caisse des Dépôts and BTP Capital Investment. So this, with this fundraising, we are deploying our sales team, and we can go on mini fairs and exhibition. Also, we got 100k euro from ADEM program. That really help us to really boost our teams and go international. Also, TP Up in last year. We got granted, I think, 40k also to help us to export our solution abroad. So mainly that's really things.
There is many different support that you
sure, yeah.
have. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, if I can add one thing, is so thank you for your presentation, because it's a really concrete way to understand that GreenTech startup, it's not France, the market is not France, but it's the world, and it's a really concrete way to understand that. But like in 2 or 3 points, what is your next steps to go further, to go forward in international level? Yeah, maybe
next step to go international?
Yeah, absolutely.
Next step to go international, like I said just before, we are sending our staff in Atlanta and in Amsterdam to find business partners there and where to develop our product over there. Okay. And all this exhibition we will do this year and next year will help to find the right people, the right way to go global. It's a bit difficult to tell you today what is our strategy. Strategy today will maybe change tomorrow, but we want to be visible. We want to see as much and touch all the people. So we will be on the road a lot to be visible and to go global.
Okay, to make the strategy happen.
Correct.
Okay, and for you, Clément?
Yeah, so on our side, actually, since the inception of InnovaFeed, we've built a dedicated team to look for potential sites across the world, because, as I mentioned, looking for the right kind of feedstock is crucial in our industry. And so today we have more than 10 MOUs signed with potential partners in the 3 geographies I mentioned, so EU, US, and Southeast Asia. So we have a pipeline of international projects that is very strong and that now we need to deliver. The first step for us will be the US, as I said. We're going to build our first US plant in the next years in the Midwest in partnership with ADM. And now we're in the final design and negotiation phase with our partners to be able to launch that project very soon.
Okay, really nice, thank you. I wish you the best for the future.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to both of you to be here and to have shared your experience. We hope to keep helping you and helping your development in the coming years and coming months. We hope to see you in CES in Las Vegas, and we hope to see you in the US. I can see that the US is a destination for both of you, so maybe you have connections there as well. So thank you. We're going to
thank you a lot. Thank you.
Close and
thank you.